Hey everyone, welcome back to Age and Education channel. Today we shall continue with the chapter Food and its Components. So we have already dealt with what? Carbohydrates and fats, right? So we shall cover proteins, then vitamins, minerals, roughage, water. Okay, so these are all the components of the food, and covering all these we will depict a balanced diet through a food pyramid. Okay, so we will cover all these topics in the coming videos. Right now we shall continue with the chapter fats. It's just that I have missed this part, so we shall do this and we shall continue with the proteins. So recommended intake of fats. The guidelines that were given are 20 to 35% of total daily calories should come from fats, with an emphasis on unsaturated fats while limiting saturated and trans fats. So we have already seen that the saturated fats and trans fats are a big no-no, right? So you should always limit these fats, right? And what are better than these? The unsaturated fats, right? So in the food component, like if this is your plate, okay, if you divide it like this, each part will become 25%, right? So around this part, okay, this area you should, this part of the plate should be like 20 to 35% should be of fats. Okay, I hope you got my point. This is just a depiction. This will be 25%, right? So 20 to 35% means around minimum this one and maximum this one. So this part of your plate should be covered with, like, should have fats. Okay, so fats are crucial for overall health when consumed in appropriate amounts and types. Incorporating healthy fats from sources like nuts, seeds, avocados and fish can contribute to a balanced diet and support various bodily functions. So just don't think that fats are bad. See, you should always have consume 20 to 35% of fat, because this is as I have mentioned, there are some functions of the fat, right? Hope you remember all that. If not, go and check the video so that it will be like a revision too, and you can actually have it in your mind for a longer period of time. Okay, so 20 to 35% of your food should have fats. Okay, and that too, unsaturated fats would be good. You should always limit saturated and trans fats. So next we shall look into proteins. So what are proteins? Proteins are often referred to as bodybuilding nutrients. They are complex compounds made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and sometimes sulfur, phosphorus or metals. So with this, do you remember about carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are the compounds of what? Yes, yes, be louder. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, right? So carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, whereas proteins are complex compound, right? It's because they are made up of not only carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, but also nitrogen and sometimes sulfur, phosphorus, like so many things will be included in the chain of the protein. Okay, amino acids, this is related to, I don't want to get into this, you will get confused. Okay, amino acids is related to proteins. Okay, just remember, in case in any competitive exams if they ask you what about amino acids, to which component of the food they are related to, is it related to carbohydrate, proteins, fats, then you have to choose the option of proteins. Okay, next, functions of proteins. Structural component, it means that something that is related to structural component of our body. So it is essential for what? It is essential for formation of muscles, organs and blood, and then it is crucial for the growth and repair of body cells and tissues. Hemoglobin in blood carries oxygen, right? So the proteins will help in the oxygen transport too. So these are the functions of the proteins. Okay, and we have seen about the complex compound, what are all the elements that are involved in the formation of the complex compound of the protein. Okay, so proteins are body building nutrients. This, I know that you had been listening to this word since you were first grade or second grade. I think second grade, right? So I don't think you will have any problem with this. But this one, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and all these you should remember. And apart from that, amino acids, and you know that proteins are essential for all these functions, and so it is very important to have good amount of protein in your daily diet. Okay, next, what are the sources of protein? The types are like animal sources and plant sources. So what are the animal sources of protein? Meat, fish, eggs, dairy. And plant sources would be legumes, nuts and grains, right? Next, protein requirements. It is not that every person has to consume same amount of protein. Okay, it is the quantity that is recommended would change based on some conditions, some factors like age, gender and health conditions. Usually growing children and pregnant women, nursing mothers, and who have to recover from illness, they need high amount of protein. Okay, so it is like there is no hard and fast rule like everyone should consume this amount of protein. Okay, based upon their needs and their conditions, these requirements keep changing. Okay, next is protein testing. So how do you test? Do you remember we have seen with the types of testing in the carbohydrates and fats too? You just go through it if you don't remember. Okay, so in the same manner for protein testing too, this is the method. It is called as Biuret test, and here we use copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide. What is the procedure? You have to mix crushed food with water in a test tube. Then you will add 2 drops of copper sulfate and 10 drops of caustic soda. Okay, so what do? You crush the food and you mix it with water in a test tube. This is the food mixed with water in a test tube, and in this you will add 2 drops of copper sulfate and 10 drops of caustic soda. Caustic soda means sodium hydroxide. Okay, then you shake the test tube. A purple or violet color indicates the presence of what? Proteins. So a purple or violet color, if at all this changes to purple or violet color, it means that your test is positive and there is presence of protein in it. Okay, so what happens if we don't get enough protein? As I have mentioned, though there is no hard and fast rule that you should always eat this amount of protein, but it is considered like healthy, and that will make you strong if you eat 1 gram of protein for every 2 kgs of your weight. Okay, and this one increases if at all you have some special needs, like if someone is growing for a growing child as such, and then for a lactating mother or a pregnant woman or someone who is recovering from illness, they will need more than this. Okay, so 1 gram of protein for every 2 kgs of a person's weight. Okay, this is considered very good. Okay, ideal, and this may increase as I have mentioned earlier. You know about it, right? So what happens if we don't get enough protein? If kids don't get enough protein, it can lead to some health problems. And what are those? Kwashiorkor. This is a big word for a disease that can happen if someone doesn't get enough protein. Kids with kwashiorkor might look bloated, like their tummy is a balloon, and can have changes in their skin and hair. They may feel weak and tired. So the kids with kwashiorkor, they will have a bloated tummy, like it's like a balloon like tummy. Okay, it will be like very expanded, but it feels like just air inside, there is no stuff. Okay, and they also will have some changes in the skin and hair, but most important thing is that they will feel weak and tired. Okay, next is marasmus. This is another type of protein deficiency. It happens when someone doesn't get enough protein and calories overall. Kids with marasmus look very thin and may not have energy to play or learn. See how horrible it is, right? Kids always like to play, but without enough protein intake, the kids may get this sort of kwashiorkor, marasmus, and they can't even feel like playing. They won't even have energy to play or learn. So it is good that you take good amount of protein. Okay. Next, vitamins. So what are vitamins? Vitamins are organic compounds that are vital for various bodily functions. They can be categorized into two types: fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. Okay, so what are these fat soluble vitamins? Vitamins A, D, E, K are considered as fat soluble vitamins. Okay, and there are some other vitamins which are called as water soluble vitamins. Now I can continue with this in this video itself, but it is like what do you call, it's a lengthy topic. Okay, I have to talk more on it, so it's better if I continue with this in the next video. Okay, till then, revise once again about proteins, carbohydrates and fats. We have considered what are the tests, the what do you call, the protein testing and carbohydrate testing, fat testing. We have covered all these. Those will be very important for your competitive exams. Go through everything, and apart from that, just check the sources to what we have mentioned about, for with regard to the proteins and which fats are considered good. Like what are the sources of unsaturated fats, saturated fats and trans fats, which fats are good, which you have to consume, and at what level. All these things are so important. Go through everything again and again, and in the next video I will continue with the rest of the topics. Okay, see you then. uh, just don't worry about the all these examples and all that. If you go through it twice or thrice, you will automatically remember. Okay, bye, see you then. Bye.